Welcome back to More Sit the Tally. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and over here we are for the streets. And the streets are talking today about Justin Fields, but not as a passer, as a runner. In Week 9, Justin Fields put up a whopping 178 rushing yards versus the Dolphins in a loss, but he showed a burst that I did not know he had, and he put the NFL on notice that he will be a force to be reckoned with in this 2023 season. But let's take a look at those runs and see what impressed me with Justin Fields in Week 9 versus the Dolphins. All right, let's start off with this first play. A simple zone read. It's a 12-yard gain. And that's the read man that's highlighted right there on the end man on the line of scrimmage. But you're about to see the back that's on his right side is going to mess up. The back on his right side should arc. He should not even touch that guy. Let Fields read him because you can see Fields is looking directly at him. He shouldn't even engage in this guy. He should just arc up to the next level and then let that be happen. So what should happen is he should come around. He's going to end up blocking this guy. The receiver's going to crack that guy and Fields should be out the gate. But he don't do it right, but it still ends up working for the Bears in their favor. Because Fields is so much of a superior athlete. He's on the edge with all you got to do is the cornerback. And now he just got to win his one-on-one. Because the corner was in man and kind of went in with the guy cracking. So if you win your one-on-ones in football, a lot of times you'll be successful. Especially if 11 guys winning their one-on-ones. Again, you see how fast he got up on the DB? He closed that gap so fast. Little long strides. And that long stride is going to come into play just a second. Just a second. All right, this play right here. Dolphins going to end up they're in cover 3. You see the way it's drawn up right there. And I draw it up as country cover 3, even though I know people don't play country cover 3 these days. Everybody got rules and whatnot. But for the sake of video purposes, it's cover 3. See them drop ball out. The Bears going to run mesh to it. It's trips right. They're going to run mesh to it. The single receiver to the bottom is going to kind of run through all the picks. The number 3 is going to come through the picks on the top side. You're going to get a sit-down route over the ball, and you got like a little go on the outside. You see it forming right there. You see the mesh happen right here in the middle of the field. My bad. Let me get that off of that. Mesh happening right there. And he just got to read it. But again, with the way they got it played, he wants to throw the sit-down route. Look at it. The sit-down route was wide open. But he bailed on it too quick. Watch how fast the sit-down guy turns and bails up out of there. He don't even just sit and stay. He sits for a hot second and just decides to take off. Now, with that being said, watch Fields. Fields is almost going to like jump throw. Watch. So he wanted to throw that. But he couldn't because he bailed out of there. And now that burst that I was so impressed with, here it is on display. Look at that. Look at that. That is nuts. I knew he could run, but I didn't know he could spray like that. I did not know he could spray like that. Let's keep it going. Boot action turns into a run. So, again, you got a mobile quarterback that's probably not the greatest of a passer yet. You get him on the move, you move the pocket, and that way he can have an option either to dump it off, throw it deep, or run it. And in this case, the way they kind of tried to set the play action up, he ran it. He ended up having 2 blockers that potentially were receivers. They're going to block down. You see the block down part, then they're going to pivot out while he's faking the run to the left. Fake that run. You see both guys block. You see the block down here. See this guy going to block down, and they both going to try to pivot out. He's going to try to pivot out a little higher. But because he gets caught up right here, he's not an option because of how Fields gets us up out of there. And then the other guy's going to turn into a blocker. You look at this open space to run. So because he got out of there so fast, they not options. Throwing it across your body. And, hold on, I didn't notice this at first. That's tight end. Okay, I was thinking he was ineligible, but that's the tight end. So you got your tight end up, or your tight end should have leaked out of that too and got jammed up. I didn't notice that when I was cutting it earlier. So you're going to get down, out, tight end trying to leak over the top. But the tight end get bammed up right here. Watch. So the tight end probably would have been the primary. Because if the tight end don't get jammed up, look at all this space he got to work with. Only with the free safety to deal with. But when he got bammed up, I just simple. Nobody's out there, I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna get what I can get. Turn it to a first down. All right, inside zone again. Now this time, he reads it wrong, in my opinion. This is a terrible read, in my opinion. Because the guy's shoulders are almost square to him. He should hand this ball off to, I think this Montgomery. And look what Montgomery got right there to work with. Got a hat on a hat. Got 70 about to get there. Maybe he have to make this guy miss. But that's blocked up pretty good. He should hand that ball off because of the way the defensive end or end man on line of scrimmages shoulders is square. But he's a superior athlete. One false step by the end. Watch this one false step. Not even a step. He just turned his hips. Watch him turn his hips to the inside. Right there. And it's over with now. It's over with. Now he's chasing the rabbit. One, not even a false, just a swing of the hips, almost like a baseball swing. You don't even move your feet. You just pivot your hips, and you stuck like Chuck. Sometimes being the better athlete wins. You could be wrong because he wrong all day right here. But he pulled it, and the better athlete won that rep. This next one. Fins ain't man free. So when you're playing man, you got your eyes as a DB. Your eyes have to stay on your man. Which if you do a great job of covering and your rush don't get home, you're gonna have problems. See, the rush is coming, and they doing a decent job of covering. Everybody's covered. I mean, he technically could be open, but the rush came instantly. He's the deep safety. Now with your back turn, he got lanes. It's that simple. It's a pass play, but it's a run play. Especially with Miami being a man. They couldn't get the ball out early. So if you're a man, you got to get home. Especially against a guy that can move. I don't want to say a runner, but I just want to say a guy that can move. Because, Burrow and other cats that not necessarily this fast can get out of this and get yardage too. So you got to be careful when you play man against mobile quarterbacks. Especially a guy with the athletic ability of Fields. This might be the same one, I think. Let me see. Yeah, same thing. I think this is the last one we got. I'm on Fields. Playing man free again. Again, their back's going to be to Justin. They're covered. Look, everybody's covered. Everybody's covered. Get home. The rush got to get home. It should. He made that guy miss. Now, trying to set up, still looking down the field. I mean, he's technically open, but he breaking on it. And he'd have to set his feet and throw it. Nah. I'm going to just use my athletic ability. I'm going to just get out of this. And get about 17 yards. Again, and all these runs, I know people say quarterbacks running is not sustainable. But did you see him take a real lick in any of these runs? Did you see him take a lick that would make you say, hey, this is not sustainable? No, you didn't. In none of these runs, you saw that. Everything he did, he either slid or ran out of bounds. So this is sustainable. Unless you just pull something while you're running. If you know how to avoid contact, take what you can get and get down, being a mobile guy is sustainable in the NFL. Now, when you go in there and just try to bulldoze people, kind of like Josh Allen and whatnot, you better be as big as the people you're bulldozing. But as far as Justin Fields, what he did in this Dolphins game opened my eyes to the potential of what he could do in 2023. He has some weapons. I don't know how much he's progressed in the all season. Well, we all don't know, except unless we've been working with him. But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna give you this little nugget. I got certain guys on my eyes for my fantasy football this year. And I got a top 3 or 4 quarterbacks I want. If I don't get those top 3 or 4 quarterbacks, best believe I'm going hunting for Fields. Best believe. Because I think he's going to have a monster year this year. Put that running game. And then again, another thing about that running game, that wasn't design runs. Except for the zone read really wasn't a design run. It was a read. There was no power read in there. There was no counter bash or no QB counter. That was passes he took off running. And that was like inside zone read. So those are safe runs to me. And I think Justin Fields is going to have a monster year in 2023. Is it going to be MVP caliber? Maybe not. But he's going to be a darn good fantasy football player in my eyes. So you heard it here first on More Sip to Tally. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and this is The Streets talking about Justin Fields and his potential fantasy package pickup. Anyway, you got your fantasy tidbit from me today, and I don't know how to do fantasy. Peace, y'all. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you just chose to be here in the streets with us. Later.